In our hypersocial world, the love of solitude is often seen as a flaw, a weakness, or a sign of arrogance. We are told that to be happy is to be connected, to be surrounded, to be part of the crowd. But the Stoics, and indeed many of the wisest minds throughout history, understood a different truth. They knew that a frequent aversion to socializing is not necessarily a social defect, but often a sign of a well-ordered mind. It is not a hatred of people, but a profound love for things the crowd cannot offer: time, tranquility, and truth. This is not about introversion. It is about a philosophical choice. Here are 4 surprising reasons why those who cultivate their minds often find socializing to be a burden. The first reason is the acute awareness of life's most precious and non-renewable resource: time. To the Stoic, every moment is a miracle, an opportunity for growth or contribution that will never come again. Seneca wrote that while we are tight-fisted with our property and money, we think too little of wasting time, the one thing about which we should all be the toughest misers. Much of modern socializing is built on a foundation of triviality: idle gossip, superficial chatter, and conversations that serve only to kill the very time we should be cherishing. For a person focused on their purpose, engaging in this is not just boring. It is a form of self-theft. They see the hourglass draining and cannot bear to watch its sands squandered on pleasantries that build nothing and mean nothing. The primary goal of a Stoic is to achieve ataraxia, a state of inner tranquility and serene calm, free from the disturbances of negative emotions. A wise person understands that emotions are contagious, especially in groups. Crowds often amplify the worst of human passions: envy, outrage, panic, and pride. To willingly step into a social gathering can be like wading into a polluted river. You risk being stained by the negativity, gossip, and anxieties of others. Protecting one's inner peace is not a passive activity. It requires a strong defense. The wise person avoids many social settings not because they dislike others, but because they are the vigilant guardian of their own mind, and refuse to let the passions of the mob breach their inner citadel. To live in accordance with nature and virtue is the highest Stoic good. This requires a radical commitment to authenticity. Yet, so much of social life demands performance. It pressures us to offer insincere flattery, to laugh at jokes we do not find funny, to agree with opinions we find baseless, all for the sake of social harmony. For a person of integrity, this performance is a heavy burden. It is a constant low-level betrayal of the self. Each feigned smile, each polite but dishonest agreement, is a small crack in the foundation of their character. They would rather face the discomfort of silence or the judgment of others than suffer the internal corruption of being untrue to their own reasoned mind. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, the wise person often finds external conversation to be a pale imitation of their internal one. For the Stoic, the most critical dialogues are those held with the self, the daily examination of one's thoughts, judgments, and actions. This is the inner work that forges character. Marcus Aurelius did not write his meditations for an audience. He wrote them for himself. The mind of a thoughtful person is a rich and fascinating place. They find better company in the dialogues of Plato, the letters of Seneca, or the quiet chambers of their own consciousness than in any crowded room. They are not lonely when they are alone. They are in conversation with the entire universe and with the most important person they will ever know: themselves. So do not mistake a love of solitude for loneliness. Loneliness is a feeling of lack, a painful void. Solitude for the Stoic is a state of richness, a deliberate choice to engage in the work that matters most. It is the rejection of triviality, the defense of tranquility, the commitment to authenticity, and the embrace of self-knowledge. As Epictetus said, if you are alone, you should call it peace and tranquility, and consider yourself the equal of the gods. It is in these quiet spaces that true strength is not just found, but forged.